Hello, I'm Greg Wurm. I'm one of the contributors on WebPhil. WebPhil is a website run by students from BYU University, BYU, BY University, Brigham Young. Although I can't figure out how to say my school name, I do have some things to say today about social media and the social website, LDS.org, and what Hegel and Marx would have to say about it. This is a picture of George Hegel. He was a German philosopher who influenced Marx and came after Kant, and very influential guy. And he had this theory, I think he called it categories of mediation, but a lot of people just know it as the historical dialectic, where it's an idea is presented and then a counter argument is given, and then some sort of synthesis emerges between the two, and that the synthesis is always better than either the beginning thesis or antithesis of the thesis. LDS.org is the official website of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and much of its content is very antithetical to the way society is going. The trend of society is in a direction that is anti-religious and anti-familial, and the church stands its ground on saying that religion is important and the family is important. The church is heavily involved on social media. One of their websites, the Facebook page, has been one that I've been looking at specifically, and you can see that they send out posts pretty much every day, if not twice a day, and these posts have great content that are, like I said before, antithetical to the way the world does it. And here I'm switching to full screen because I want you to focus on my point and not what I'm pointing at on the screen. And actually that is my message, or is my point. There was a guy named Marshall McLuhan. He lived in the 1900s and he wrote a book called Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man in 1964, I think. And one of his main points was that the medium is the message. Looking at trusty old Wikipedia to see what that means, it says the medium message is a phrase coined by Marshall McLuhan, meaning that the form of a media embeds itself in the message, creating a symbiotic relationship by which the medium influences how the message is perceived. Now, how does this apply to LDS.org and their social media strategy? The way it does is that the content of the church is very antithetical to what the world would recommend. So it kind of sets the trend on what the way the world should go. But its form, in that the mediums it uses, is kind of just following the trend of the world. That the world is becoming more and more involved online and less real life interactions. And so one of the strategies of the church is to try to reach people who won't answer the door anymore, but they'll answer something on Facebook. And so they're following the trend of the world in that way. But I'm wondering if maybe the church should be as bold as it is in its content or its doctrine as it is in the forms that it uses in terms of social media. Maybe we should be innovative and try to set the trend and shape the culture instead of reflect it. And this can be done by getting its members, like me, involved in using social media to its max. But like me, a lot of members aren't technically savvy, as you've seen from the quality of my videos. And so maybe we need some training on how to use social media, and maybe we need to understand the doctrine of social media and kind of this comprehensive game plan, saying like, look, this is the way the world's going. People are becoming less and less involved in real life and living their lives through these rectangles called screens, either on the phone or on the computer or the TV. But just like we came down to earth to get bodies, we need to live our lives with our bodies and not just through these little screens. We could have had that type of education in the pre-earth life. And so people need to understand that getting online is not the end, that getting offline is the end. And that kind of ties back to an idea Plato had, but I think a lot of members are just kind of aimlessly following the trend of the world, and I think the church can be innovative in suggesting that we should set the trend and we can use social media effectively to engage online, but also to engage offline. And I think the church does that and wants that, but they could embed that more in their medium, in the way they structure the websites and things like that, and not just the messages. That's about all I have this time. If you want to learn more, visit us at webphilblog.blogspot.com, and you can even see this little section I've made on LDS.org where I discuss all the previous philosophers from Plato to Aristotle to the moderns, and continue to join me as I continue to go further and further into philosophy. Thank you.